Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Auli Ramadhani from D class batch 23 and my registration number is A121-23140. So this is my summary video of material from group 1 and group 2. Firstly, I would like to summary of the material from group 1. Their material is a historical overview of a translation and interpretation. First, there's ancient beginnings. Translation and interpretation trace their origin back to ancient civilizations like Mesopotamia, Egypt, and Greece. Early translators focused on religious, literary, and legal texts. For example, the translation of the Hebrew Bible into Greek marked one of the earliest major translation projects. And then the second, there's a Roman influence. Roman scholars like Cicero and Horace introduced the idea of translating meaning rather than word for word, emphasizing fluency and adaptability of the translated text. They influenced how Western translators approach translation, prioritizing the sense and spirit of the original work. And the next, there's a Middle Age and religious like a Middle Age and religious influence. During the Middle Age, religious texts, especially the Bible, dominate translation efforts. Santa Jerome's Latin translation of the Bible, the Vulgate, set the standard of Christian Europe. Translation became a tool for spreading religious ideologies, which led the tensions, especially during the Reformation. The next, Renaissance and humanism. The Renaissance saw a shift towards the translation of scholars' work, spurred by the rediscovery of ancient texts and the rise of humanism. Translators like Erasmus advocated for accuracy and fidelity to the source text. Translation became an intellectual activity, blending creativity with scholarship. And next, there's a modern era. The modern era of translation, beginning in the beginning in the 18th and 19th centuries, introduced new challenges with the rise of nationalism and scientific advancements. Translators began dealing with more complex and technical subjects, requiring specialized knowledge and techniques. New translation theories emerged, such as distinctions between domestication, or making the text familiar to the target audience, and foreignisation, that's preserving the original context and cultural references. And then the last, there's interpretation. While translation historically focused on the written text, interpretations dealing with a spoken language grew in importance, especially in diplomacy and international relations. The establishment of organizations like the League of Nations and later the United Nations in the 20th century created a demand for professional interpreters, especially in multilingual settings. I think that's all the summary I can give for material from group 1. And then next to the summary of the material from group 2, they are encountered problems in translation and interpreting. First, linguistic differences. One of the primary challenges in translation and interpreting is the inherent differences between language. Each language has a unique grammar, syntax, and a vocabulary, making direct translation is difficult. Words or phrases in one language may not have an exact equivalent in another, leading to potential loss of meaning or nuances. And the second, there's a cultural barriers. Culture plays a huge role in shaping language, and translators or interpreters often struggle to convey cultural references, idioms, or traditions that are unfamiliar to the target audience. Cultural concept like humor, customs, or values may not easily translate, requiring the translator to adapt to explain them to maintain the message clarity. And the third, ambiguity and multiple meanings. Words or sentence with a multiple meaning, mul- I mean, sorry, multiple meanings can pose problems during a translation or interpretation. Translators must understand the context deeply to choose the most accurate meaning, but sometimes context alone isn't sufficient to resolve ambiguities, especially in technical or specialized texts. And the next, there's a technical and specialized terminology. When dealing with scientific, medical, legal, or other specialized texts, translators face challenges with a complex terminology. These fields often have a precious vocabularies and a lack of subject expertise. Expertise may lead to misinterpretation or inaccurate translation of critical terms. And the next, there's a dialect or regional variations. Regional differences within the same language add another layer of difficulty. Dialect, accent, and regional slang vary even within a language, making it challenging for interpreters and a translator to ensure that the intended audience understand the message clearly, especially in oral interpretation. And the next, there are time constraints in interpretation. Unlike written translations, where there is time to review and edit, interpretation happens in real time. Interpreters must quickly grasp the meaning deliver it accurately without the luxury of pausing for reflection. This pressure often results in errors, omissions, or miscommunication, especially in high stress environments like conferences or courtrooms. Courtrooms. And the next, there's a loss of style and tone. Maintaining the style, tone, and emotional depth of the original text or speech is another major challenge. Sorry. A literal translation may convey the meaning but lose the stylistic elegance, humor, or emotional impact that was present in the source language. Translators and interpreters need to balance accuracy with preserving the author's or speaker's intent. And the last, I'm going to talking about a machine translation and automation. While technology has advanced, machine translations still faces numerous limitations. Machines often struggle with context, idiomatic expression, and cultural nuances, leading to awkward or incorrect translation. Human translators are needed to rewind and correct automated translation, ensuring accuracy and coherence. So, in the summary, translation and interpreting involve a range of problems, from linguistic and cultural differences to the pressure of a real-time interpretation. Addressing these challenges requires skills, deep cultural and contextual understanding, and sometimes creative adaptation to preserve the integrity of the original message. And for the question, The difference between translation and interpretation. So the difference is translation is about written words and accuracy over time, while interpretation is about spoken word, and immediate communication. I think that's all I can say about my summary from material group 1 and group 2. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.